So a little bit about me and my background. I spent 43 years as a locomotive engineer. You guys got a railroad tracks running through here. You see them all the time. That's what I did for my living. Only I did it through on the other side of here, through from Waurika up through El Reno to Wichita, Kansas. And I've also traveled all over with different responsibilities all over the western 2/3 of the United States with my job. I went to work for the railroad when I was 18 years old, and I was promoted as a locomotive engineer at 19. I was one of the youngest locomotive engineers in U.S. history. It was unheard of for somebody to be promoted the way I was. At a very young age, I went to work and I ran for office as a local chairman, which is the same thing as a union steward. So I worked as a union steward, and I was elected and reelected each term until 1991 when I moved from Wichita, Kansas to Chickasha, Oklahoma. And when I went to Chickasha, Oklahoma, I became a member of the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers, Local 523, and I'm still a member there today. So a little bit about why I want to run for Oklahoma Democratic Party state chair. If you guys have been paying attention to, and I know you do, you know a little bit about what's going on with the Democratic Party throughout Oklahoma. You're seeing that there has been a big decline in our numbers. We see a lot of people who, they talk about growing our party, but at the same time, when it comes to elections, we only have about 20% of our own Democratic Party members who actually vote. So we have 80% of our Democratic Party who feels like there is really, they're being neglected. I'm going to change that. That's why I'm running for Oklahoma Democratic Party state chair. My platform is basically 7 points. It starts with, I want to start a permanent campaign. When we're not campaigning for candidates who are running for office, I want us to start campaigning for the party. I want us to start campaigning for the party so that the people will feel connected to the party and have an idea that the Democratic Party is still here. It's still trying to do what it can to help us as people. Here's a simple statement. The Republican Party, as we can see what's going on in our own state and has been going on for several years. I keep hearing this Ryan Walters guy being talked about quite a bit everywhere I go. Trust me, I understand that the Republican Party wants to control the will of the people. The Democrats want to do the will of the people. That's the biggest difference between our two parties. And as a leader of the Democratic Party, I promise you that, and my pledge is that I will go and be that rural working class leader. That's something that we're lacking right now. We've got this whole philosophy within the Democratic Party where people want to say that we're part of this DC elitist establishment. We're going to shed that away. We're going to be that party that is down at the courthouse, who is at the city building, and we're going to do what I call public square events, where we're going to go out throughout the entire Oklahoma, all 77 counties, into hundreds of communities, and we're going to let people see that we are there, that we are part of the community, and we're doing things for the people. We want people in our legislature who are doing things for us. One of the statements that keeps being brought up all the time is, and I don't like saying it, about votes don't count. Folks, that's completely wrong. Let's talk about that a minute. When you go to a football game down here at the high school or up at the OU where I graduated, when you go to those football games, when everybody in that entire arena and stadium is cheering, do you stop cheering because your voice isn't heard? No. You cheer because you support your team. Think of that candidate that's running for office. He's your team member. Cheer for him no matter what. That's what we got to get focused on, is we got to start cheering for our candidates. We got to cheer and get excited about that and let our neighbors know that we're excited for that candidate as well. And we've got to get out and vote. We got a GOTV. We've got to participate. And by doing that, we're cheering for that candidate because those are good people. They're our neighbors. They're good people that are trying to do great things on our behalf. So we really need to focus on that. I want to start recruiting for people in rural Oklahoma as well. I know right here in Ardmore, you guys are going to go through a real shift real fast once Michelin shuts down. A lot of people who were Republicans and MAGA and really believe in that form of America are now going to become disillusioned, and they're going to say, where am I going to go now? That failed me. We want the Democratic Party to be there, to be the cushion, to help give people hope and inspire them to vote for and elect more Democrats who can represent us and bring jobs back to Oklahoma instead of the Republicans who are continuing to drive a wedge and drive the companies out. And it's all about grassroots approach. So I want to make sure that everything I do is based on a grassroots approach. That's you and me working together. That's not having a bunch of people from New York or California and this Pelosi idea that Pelosi represents you because you're a Democrat. That's such bull. We're not going to do that no more. We're talking about you and me as neighbors. You and me as neighbors, grassroots, we're going to be working together because Pelosi never did anything for us in Oklahoma. Schumer's not doing anything for us in Oklahoma. So let's not even worry about bringing their names up. And when people start talking about it, just tell them that's a bunch of bull. And that brings me to the last thing I want to talk about. I'm tired of hearing all this stuff on the news that it goes unchecked. We need to have a spokesperson for the Oklahoma Democratic Party who will be in front of the camera and will do things and say what we believe in. We're not baby killers. We're not coming after people's guns. That's not going to happen. But we are going to stand up for people's rights. That is the one thing that we're going to do. So I've got a leadership pledge. There's only 10 chairs throughout the entire United States who receives a stipend. And our current chair is one of them. I'm making a pledge that I will not take 1 penny of that stipend and all the money that we earn off of raising funds and with our fundraisers. I'm not going to take a penny of that for my income. I'm going to divert every penny of that right back out to grow the Democratic Party. I want to do targeted advertising throughout the state of Oklahoma to try to get people encouraged that the Oklahoma Party is doing things for them and will represent them in the state of Oklahoma. So I'm going to divert that. But I also want to help our candidates. Whatever is allowed by the law, for me to be able to use that money to give to a candidate for their initial fees to get signed up and start running at their candidacy and their campaign. I want to be able to give them that opportunity to use some of that money. And then we've got another system called VAN. We're going to start expanding that VAN access to minivan out here so that the counties can start utilizing that and build their party. Right now, we don't know who all the Democrats are within our county. You know, if you go around and look in your county or in your neighborhood, you think, you know what, I'm pretty much alone. VAN is showing us that about half the people in all of our neighborhoods are Democrats. They're just non-participating. They don't want to talk about it because everybody says we're in a red state. I don't believe we're in a red state. I believe we're in a no voting state, a no non-participating state. Let's get people excited about voting and get back out and start being proud of being Democrats. That's what I'm going to bring. So in conclusion, my name is Kevin Dawson. I'm running for Oklahoma Democratic Party State Chair. Please run for for precinct chair. Become one of the precinct members so that you can go to Broken Arrow in June and you can cast your vote for me. I need your help. So again, my name is Kevin Dawson. I'm asking for your vote. Thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to speak.